part of this day, and also for Sunny Valley Subdivision. We're so thankful. We have people calling all the time wanting housing. So with that, I would like to introduce Jerome Melanie, who's going to come up with art. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nita. Good morning to all, and on behalf of Ardent Development Group, my partner Chad Keene and myself, I'd like to welcome everybody to the groundbreaking for Sunny Valley Residential Subdivision. Chad and I'd be remiss if we didn't at least recognize and say thank you to our better halves, Marlene and Kathy. They've had to listen to us at 6 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, what seems to be 7 days a week for the last 2 years. So thank you for your love and support. This development has a special place in my heart. I grew up in Bristol. When I came back from graduating the University of Richmond, bought a house less than a mile from here on High Point Road, and spent half my adult life in this immediate area. And it's so wonderful to look out there and see my neighbor of 40 plus years and my friend Bruce Martin. Bruce, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. And Governor, who's 92 years young.
I know Bruce.
And let me tell you, he's a great Governor Youngkin fan. So this all began, it's 84-acre tract, and all began, the owner originally was the Herd Farm. Tammy, where's Tammy? Thank you for being here today. I think, and most staying with us through all the approval process. And that was long, and I know you probably thought we were nuts sometimes, but thank you for being beside us the entire time. The development itself is going to, once completed, will provide over 325 single-family residential houses to the community. You're looking at approximately $120 million investment to the county. And for something that size, it takes a lot of coordination, a lot of cooperation as well. And I want to say thank you so much to Jason Berry. He provided a lot of assistance to us, walking Chad and I through the Planning Commission, Board of Supervisors, Industrial Development Authority, Washington County Service Authority, BVU, Department of Transportation, Mount Rogers Planning District, Virginia Housing. I think you're getting the picture that's a collaboration that had to come together to make this happen. So I look at this is one big partnership. The county, the state, and us, it's one big partnership to bring something to the community that will be beneficial and well needed. You're going to hear from several of these folks. I'm just going to get to some thank yous that people behind the scenes that don't necessarily get recognition all the time. Robert Leonard Surveying, thank you so much, Robert. Kathy Moore, Tri-City Blueprint. She must have run 1,000 prints for us. The Steve Wilson and Tim England. Steve is the engineer in this project. I can promise you he has the most hours of anybody in this project. And Steve, thank you so much for your diligence to get this done. Nick Van Ness, Mattern and Craig. Nick worked closely with VDOT. We're going to be widening King Mill Pike in this area, putting turn lanes in the subdivision. Nick, thank you so much for that assistance. Then you've got local people that are providing materials to us. And when I say local, I'm really mean local. Permatile, John Renero, where are you? John, thank you so much. Permatile's less than a mile from here, providing all our concrete pipe and structures for the project. And certainly will be a short distance to get those items down to the project. And of course, all this iron you see behind us that's going to work today, I can't say enough for J.D. Watson Construction. Where's Tammy Watson? Tammy Watson is the owner of J.D. Watson. Tammy and Chelsea are the owners, and we thank you so much for your participation in this, and certainly look forward to you moving dirt today. And finally, our financial partner, New People's Bank. J.W. Kaiser, Mike Ratliff, thank you guys for having confidence in us. And of course, that leads us to my last partner I'd like to mention and our next speaker. is the home building partner. The largest home builder in the United States, the 123rd largest company in the Fortune 500. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Barack Saltzman, the Division President of D.R. Horton.
Good morning. First, I'd like to start by thanking Jerome and Chad with Arden Development Group for everything they have done to get this deal to come to fruition, along with our local and state officials who have helped support making this day a reality. D.R. Horton's Northeast Tennessee Division is excited and grateful for the opportunity to build in southwestern Virginia. Sunny Valley will be our first community on this side of the border, and we are excited to bring our operations here to build quality homes at attainable prices. We plan to build and close approximately 500 homes in Northeast Tennessee this year, and in that time so far, our survey scores from homeowners about a month after move-in is a 4.7 out of 5 stars. I buy that every day of the week on Amazon. I am proud of our team, who focus every day on delivering homes we would move to love one into. Lastly, I'm excited for the governor's remarks today. I had the privilege of hearing him speak in Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee last month. As D.R. Horton invests over $100 million into this community over the coming years, I'm looking forward to saying some of the governor's favorite words of "You are hired." Thank you for the opportunity, and I'd like to introduce our next speaker from the Board of Supervisors, Dwayne Ball.
Well, again, I want to thank everybody for being here on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. On the board, I represent this district. It is great to see that two local guys can bring this together. Jerome and Chad, born and bred here locally, using local businesses to help support this project, and it's really good to see. It just doesn't get any better than that. And it's good they had the vision, but more importantly, it's good that they had the work ethic to push this through, because it's a long, arduous project, and I'm glad to see it come to fruition. My wife and I coach cross country at John Bowell High School, so we get asked all the time about bringing jobs to our county. We need jobs so our kids can stay close. Well, the other thing that goes with that is got to have a place to live, and this will hopefully facilitate that. We've been at this a long time, especially Chad and Jerome. Hopefully they can pull this off quickly, and we can get people moved into houses. I'd like to thank them again. I'd like to thank everybody who worked on this, the IDA and yielding some of their sewer capacity to make this project happen, the Washington County Service Authority, who just completed the infrastructure to allow this to happen up exit 10 and then part of this area too. Mr. Martin was on one of the old boards of the Washington County Service Authority, and he helped create this many years ago to even make this possible at all. And we look forward to everything that can come from this, and we are more than grateful for our governor for being here once again in Southwest Virginia to help support our efforts. We're very grateful. We can't convey that enough. And now I will yield the podium to the officer, to the statewide housing officer of Virginia, Chris McNamara. Here we go.
Good morning. My name is Chris McNamara, and on behalf of Virginia Housing, I am super excited to be here today with you all at the groundbreaking for Sunny Valley, a project that represents not just new homes, but new opportunities for families, workers, Washington County, and the entire region. At Virginia Housing, our mission is clear: helping Virginians attain quality, affordable housing. But we know we can't do that work alone. We need our partners, like Washington County, the elected officials that are here with us today, the Regional Planning District, the builders, and the entire development team that can share a vision. I'd like to take a moment to thank Aaron Sizemore, Jimmy Moss, and the entire Mount Rogers Planning District Commission, who came together, stepped up to the plate, and were ready to go and filled out this application for our program that helped make this project a reality. Yeah. Back in May, Governor Youngkin announced the first round of awards for the Virginia Workforce Housing Investment Program. I serve as the lead of that program at Virginia Housing, and I can say that this project has become the shining example of exactly what we hope this program will do in this coming round and in future rounds. The local government stepped up and invested in the infrastructure that was needed for this project and for future development, keeping an eye beyond just today. Employers stepped up and committed to sharing opportunities and resources with their employees to make sure that they knew that they had a place to live here in the communities where they work. We understand that people want to live where they work and have a place here. And then the collaboration that's demonstrated throughout this project is just another example of what everyone here in Southwest Virginia already knows. We're better when we work as partners. We're proud that Virginia Housing is able to make this possible through the Workforce Housing Investment Program. We're also hopeful that many of the future homeowners here will come to us and utilize some of our other resources to actually purchase their homes. Today's ceremony is a reminder that housing is economic development, community development, and workforce development all at once. Every new home here adds stability to the local economy, attracts investment, and most importantly, gives people a place to belong. Congratulations to everyone involved with this day to make today possible. Virginia Housing is proud to be beside you, and we can't wait to be here as this neighborhood comes to life. Thank you, and I'd now like to invite Congressman Morgan Griffith to share a few remarks.
Thank you. Very well done. I am so excited to be with you all today. I look out here, and sometimes it's hard when you see the rolling hills to envision what can be there. I will tell you, Governor, talking about getting out to vote, which is very important. No matter which side of the aisle you're on, get out to vote. But I can remember in my hometown, out knocking doors when I came up to the crest of a hill, and it looked like this. There were equipment and big fields. And I'm like, what the heck are they doing? I was about 17. They were building subdivisions. And if you build it, they will come. Now, in some cases, they're already here and just looking for a good place to find a house. But in other cases, they go, you know what? I want to start a small business somewhere. And I looked at that Sunny Valley area of the county, and I've decided I want to be on that end of the county, or I want to be in that locality. And that's why when you say that home building is economic development, it is. It's also community development, because those communities will be there and they will be vibrant. And what will happen, I'm getting a little long in the tooth, so I can tell you I've seen it, is that some of these families will be here for multiple generations. Because maybe in Northern Virginia they move away. That's not the case in Southwest Virginia. In my hometown, there's at least 5 of us in my little neighborhood who went to the same high school, who came home. And I have the honor of living on the same street I grew up on. And it's a beautiful way of life. And Sunny Valley has the potential and the promise to give that to this part of Washington County. And I'm thrilled to be with you all. So thank you very much for inviting me to be here. I've been very blessed to have those opportunities. And now they're going to be 325 and probably more than that as time goes on, families who will be blessed by what you all are doing here today. Now, that said, I have the opportunity to introduce a senator extraordinaire. and let me say that this project, you've got the local folks involved, and while I'm excited to be here, you've got your state legislators and your governor and your state officials. All of them have had a part to play in this, and they've done a fabulous job. And so it is my honor, truly, to introduce a senator who is second to none in the state legislature, Todd Pillion.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. I recorded that so I can play it back to Suderline and all the other guys in your district. I know they're going to. Second to none. I got you. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Always a politician. All right. Well, thank you, Congressman Griffith, for that glowing introduction that maybe wasn't so glowing after all. But and thank you all for being here today. It's always a good day when we get to talk about meaningful investments in Southwest Virginia. And one great thing is anytime the governor's plane lands, which is quite often in Southwest Virginia, we're making announcements. So I think, if nothing else, we owe him a big round of applause for all he's done for us. So earlier this year, you heard mentioned Virginia Housing announced nearly $54 million in funding for 3 major projects right here in our region. That's part of the more than $183 million in total public and private investment. Those numbers aren't dollars and cents. They're a vote of confidence in our people, our potential, and our future. The Sunny Valley residential development isn't just a housing project. It's a foundation for long-term growth. This investment will help the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission build 325 and hopefully more new housing units and create a revolving loan fund to keep the progress going for years to come. That means this isn't a one-time project. It's a model for sustainable growth. These homes are designed for working families, for teachers, for technicians, and for healthcare workers, the people who keep our community strong. We've seen amazing progress, much in part to our governor, in job creation and business investment across Southwest Virginia. But we all know that growth can't last without proper housing to support it. The King Mill project helps change that. It builds new homes right here where they're needed most, close to major employers like the Hard Rock Casino, FedEx, Electromechanical, Cardinal Glass, and who knows, maybe an inland port. And most importantly, this project reflects the spirit of Southwest Virginia: collaboration, partnership, and a shared commitment to building a strong future together. So thank you to Virginia Housing, the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission, our local officials, and everyone who helped make this possible. This is what it looks like to invest in people, in potential, and in the bright future of Southwest Virginia. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce a true champion for our region, Delegate Israel O'Quinn.
Well, thank you, Senator, and good morning. It is an honor to be with you today, and certainly, as I always say, an honor to be able to represent this part of Virginia, the area that I grew up in. But it is an exciting day here in Southwest Virginia, and particularly in Washington County. As I talk with local residents and local businesses, the biggest issue that we hear over and over and over again on repeat is housing. The supply just isn't there, and it's not like there's supply for one particular segment of people looking for homes. It isn't there for first-time home buyers. It isn't there for growing families. It isn't there for businesses looking to grow and expand and bring new employees to the region. And unfortunately, we've seen that growth occur over on the other side of the line. There are all kinds of new developments in Johnson City and Kingsport, and we need that here. And this is a huge step in the right direction, because today we are taking a big step towards fixing this very complicated problem, and it is complicated. You can't just snap your fingers and make housing occur. But it also shows how we can have dramatic and rapid progress when everyone's working together, the public sector, the private sector, side by side, federal, state, and local, everyone with their shoulder to the wheel. The General Assembly, of course, has recognized this problem, as you heard Senator Pillion say, put a significant amount of money into this and have taken those proactive steps to try to address this overarching problem. But it also takes tremendous leadership in the executive branch, because Virginia Housing and DHCD and all these other agencies fall under the purview of the governor. And thankfully, we do have a great leader there. And it's my job to introduce the man of the hour, the person that we are here to hear from. And I just can't say enough about the job that Governor Youngkin has done over the last almost 4 years now. During his tenure, Virginia has had an average of 1.75 out of 50 states in the CNBC business rankings. That really is a tremendous accomplishment, because the competition is fierce. He's led the way on diversifying our energy portfolio. He's led the charge to give $9 billion in tax relief back to hardworking Virginians. And he was really the primary reason why we were able to navigate through Hurricane Helene in such a timely and efficient fashion. But most importantly, and the thing that I love the most, is that he has shown up time and time and time and time again. Senator Pillion was right. Every time that we turn around, he's landing at the airport, and he's here to make another announcement. He's here to visit with people. He's here to see what's going on in our communities. He's put in the time and the effort to get to know our area, to get to know our people, and he's been a proactive partner in tackling a lot of really tough issues that we've had come up over the last 4 years. And he's really brought a thoughtful and steady and level-headed approach to the executive branch. And really, frankly, we couldn't have a better partner than Governor Youngkin. And I say it all the time, and I mean it. I don't care which of the other 49 states you live in, but the best governor in America is right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So with that being said, please put your hands together and welcome the 74th Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin.
Thank you. Goodness.
think we'll just stay. How about that? Thank you. Israel, thank you so much for the incredibly gracious introduction. Thanks, everybody, coming out today. I do think it's really important for us to remember as we think about the northwest office of D.H. Horton. You need a Southwest Virginia office, just as the next one we're going to open. We'll start recruiting that right away. In fact, I think we can find some office space right up around the corner. What a day to be in Sunny Valley. And I think most importantly, what a day to build houses. And I have to tell you, when you look out of places in the Commonwealth of Virginia that someone can choose to live, don't we want to live where the birthplace of country music is? Don't we want to live where you can see the hills and understand where your help comes from? Don't we want to live where the values that we know are most important are shared and supported? And that's why I'm so excited about today. I'm so excited about today because this is a big step in giving everyone a chance to live right here. Right here. I have to say there's a spirit in Southwest Virginia, and I know you all know it because you feel it every day. And I guess I've been here enough to know that this spirit is unique. It is unique to the vibrant nature of everyone who lives here, but it is unique to the way that you stand up for what's most important. And that's why I want more people to have a chance to live here. And that's why this is such a big moment. There are lots of people to thank, and I just always want to thank Congressman Griffith. I mean, I got to tell you, Morgan, you care so deeply about this state broadly, but also this region. And I have the great opportunity whenever we're working on anything where I need some help, I can call Morgan and say, Morgan, we're working on this. What do you think? And he said, we're on it. And so I just want to thank you for caring so deeply about everybody who works and lives and makes their life here. You have the best Richmond delegation of anybody in Virginia. You just do. I'm just telling you. You just do. I always feel a little bad for the senator's patience because I'll call him and he'll say, hang on 1 second. And he'll come and talk to me. And I said, well, is somebody sitting in the chair? Do you have and he said, that's okay. We're taking a break. And I just want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you for how much effort and love and care you put into every single day, to your patients, to making sure that they get the best care, but also to everybody here. And Israel is every single day trying to find some way to drive forward for the entire region. And it's everybody. And so, guys, I just want to thank you for all that you're doing. Our friends at Arden Development Group, thank you for believing. What a story that you guys grew up here, and you guys are, again, going to build an opportunity for so many others to grow up here. And you may not know this, while the sun is out today, sunny is not a representation of the weather. It's Chad's granddaughter. And I want everybody to know that this is about family, and this is about relationships. And that's what makes this absolutely so special. All the folks who have pulled so hard on the oar in order to drive this thing forward, from the Washington County Board of Supervisors, and thank you. Just is so important, because we know nothing gets done unless everybody lines up and pushes it along. Because there's always something that goes wrong. There's something that goes wrong. Not because we're hoping it goes wrong. That's just the way big projects are. And this is a big, big, important project. And then finally, I want to thank Chris and my friends at Virginia Housing. We had this idea. That when economic development happens, most people just think about the company and the jobs. And a few years back, we were whiteboarding, and I said, well, folks, we need housing. And how are we going to get housing to land the same time the jobs do? And so we came up with this idea of the Workforce Housing Investment Program. And we sat down with folks at the Department of Community and Housing Development and the folks at Virginia Housing and said, hey, is there a way we could form a pocket that would invest alongside of private capital, but just give it that last boost in order to make sure that we're going to have housing that meets the needs
of all of our employers, but more importantly, the folks that are going to work at these great jobs. And we all drew it up on the board and said, well, that might work. And next thing you know, this program is launched, and my gosh, it's working. The basic program structured like this: $75 million, $15 million a year that is granted to projects like this. And the purpose is to be that kind of gap capital, that last bit that pushes it over the edge. And the way the project was drawn up is if we had $75 million, we expected to get 10 times that in private capital. So $750 million that would be invested in housing, workforce housing, in order to provide our great employees a place to live that's affordable and accessible and really, really nice. And then I remember saying one day, hey, what if we could get the guys from Horton to build this stuff? Because they build the best houses around. And here they are. Here they are. Now let me tell you the math behind this project. This project is the poster child. This project got a $3 million grant out of the Virginia Workforce Housing Program. And that $3 million grant, as you've heard, unlocked $120 million of private capital. And by the way, over $35 million of other work that's gone on, from making sure that we got all the utilities in place and from the work that VDOT's going to do out here. And so think about that. That's $160 million that got unlocked with a $3 million investment. Now, let me tell you, that is a 50 to 1. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to be doing to make sure that we can just push these projects that little bit further, There are a lot of jobs that are available within 30 minutes from here. And you just heard Senator Pillion go through them, but it's almost 2,000 jobs that are available within 30 minutes of here. And I don't want folks moving into North Carolina and Tennessee and all these other places. I don't want them going there. I want them here. And you know, when I start visiting with folks that live, what I'm going to call south of that border, and I'm frustrated because folks just can't find places to live. And so think about this: 325 great places to live. And can you imagine when you're an employer and you get to say, first of all, I've got a great job. And by the way, they're building these amazing homes over in Sunny Valley. And finally, here's a mortgage application for you to go get it from someone who really believes in the region. And there's even some programs from Virginia Housing that will help you get into your first house. My friends, that is a great, great vision, and that's what's happening here today. And so, 11 months after we drew all that stuff up on the board, 11 months after the grant started to flow, we had to accelerate because things are moving faster than we thought. And Juan Pablo Segura, who is our Secretary of Commerce, came to me and said, Governor, we'd like to pull forward round 2 of the Workforce Housing Investment Program, and because we can do more faster. Now, for those of you who worked with me over the last 4 years, more faster is exactly what we're talking about every day. And so we have already opened up the application window for the second year, but we're only 11 months into this program. And that's exactly what we want to do. So there's going to be another $15 million available for projects just like this one that can actually accelerate our need for housing across Virginia, but most importantly in places like Southwest Virginia, right here in Washington County, that need it the most. Let me wrap up. Virginia's really cooking, my friends, and it's exciting to see. And the reason why is because we went from always thinking that somebody else was going to win to expecting that we are. Because Virginians don't follow, we lead. We've been doing that from the founding of this great country. I mean, come on, imagine if we had Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, and Patrick Henry sitting around saying, well, maybe North Carolina or Tennessee will do it. That's not the way it works. We lead. And that's what we've been doing for the last 4 years as a Commonwealth. We've been leading. And to see company after company want to move here and expand, and to see development after development providing great places for people to live, to see what's happening in our school systems, what have really led the nation in reestablishing what it means to educate our children for excellence. I just want to tell you all what's happened in our school system across this Commonwealth in the last 4 years, where all of a sudden everybody has recognized, hey, we got to make sure our kids are stretched and striving. We can lift up the floor and the ceiling at the same time. And our kids are now prepared for life. Just so you know, last year, 79% of the students in the Commonwealth of Virginia graduated with an industry-recognized credential or certificate that would allow them to go to work right away if they chose to. They can go to one of our great community colleges, or they can go to one of our great four-year universities, but they're ready for life. And that's what we want as a life right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We are cooking. $143 billion of investment coming into the state from businesses, more jobs than we can possibly fill. And that's why for the first time in a decade, we have more people moving here than moving away to the other 49 states. We're winning. And I got to tell you, I like winning. I think that's Virginia because we are a state of winners. So finally, I want to go back to where I started. Thank you to everybody for believing. Thank you for believing in what can be done right here, but also what can be done across this entire region. Because I will tell you once again that when people have a chance to see what life can be like in Southwest Virginia, they choose it. They want to be in this community. Your kids want to be here. Your grandkids want to be here. And I got to tell you, my wife wants to be here. And so with that, I again just want to thank everybody for this tremendous opportunity. 325 houses are going to be built here. The first phase of this is going to start really, you're going to see it opening up here in the next 3 months is what Chad tells me. And people are going to be able to start seeing where they could live. That is extraordinary. And I know that it'll be more than 325 because at the end of the day, people are going to see how awesome this is. And there's going to be the next one and the next one and the next one. And I just look forward to this same team playing this same blueprint and building Southwest Virginia in a way that we're just know that it's going to be the place where people always want to work and live and raise their family. And so with that, I always like on big developments to pray over stuff because I think that's the best way to start. And so if we could, we're just going to close in a quick prayer over Sunny Valley. Here we go. Heavenly Father, we come together with grateful hearts for all of the tremendous blessings you bestowed upon all of us, and particularly today as we break ground on Sunny Valley. And Father, we ask for your grace over this entire process. We know things are going to go wrong along the way, and we ask you to help us find ways to fix them. We ask you to bring all of the necessary talent and skills in order to finish on time, on budget, if not faster. And Father, we also ask you to bless each and every home that is built here so that those that live in it will feel your presence and most importantly know that they have a place that is not a house, but is a home. And finally, Father, we thank you for your Son. And we pray all of this in his name. And all God's people say, amen. My friends, let's go to work and break some ground. Here we go. Here we go. Really fun.